Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. And as we wait, poised for the start of what will hopefully be a thrilling qualifying, why don't you tell us, Anthony Davidson, about the things you can do to really get the most out of a car in a session like this?
Well, you're largely limited by the Parc Fermé regulations, of course. Back in the old days, pre-2004, you'd work on both a qualifying setup and a race setup over practice, and then swap them over after qualifying. So the race car was quite different at times to the qualifying car. Nowadays, though, you have to find a compromise that works for both. There are a few things that you can still adjust during the session, such as the differential, the brake bias and the front wing angle, but that's about it. So it's more about optimizing what you do have and adapting your own style to suit the track conditions.
Excellent lap. We're really pleased.
The grid is all set then for the race tomorrow. But before we go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top three, who are Raikkonen, Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow. New drivers, new cars and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that hosts the first round of a 21 race championship, taking us from here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe before we eventually reach the season finale at Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi. Here's the track then, 16 corners, 6 to the left and 10 to the right. They make up the 3.3 miles around Albert Park Lake, with turn 1 and 3 providing the best opportunities to pass. We have plenty of changes to the sport this year with the addition of new safety features, the return of France and Germany in an expanded 21 race calendar and more tyre compounds than ever before. And of course, we have some big car manufacturers back in the sport too, with Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin returning as title sponsors for Sauber and Red Bull respectively. Joining me to take you through all the action of the 2018 Formula One season is Anthony Davidson. Great to have you with us.
Thanks, Crofty. Always happy to be here. I'm looking forward to getting underway. Last year was Mercedes' 4th Constructors' title in a row, although for the first half of the season it was absolutely neck and neck with the Ferraris. Hopefully this year we can see the chasing pack take that final step, as I'd love to see a championship contest all the way up to the final race in Abu Dhabi. Another story to keep an eye on is the relative performance of McLaren and Toro Rosso, who have exchanged power unit suppliers this year. And given the additional restrictions on engine components, they need to be strong in terms of both performance and reliability.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Kimi Raikkonen's perfect lap yesterday sees him start from pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Bottas, Carlson And Hamilton, Hülkenberg, Verstappen, Grosjean and Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, Leclerc, Esteban Ocon and Perez, Hartley, Ericsson, Pierre Gasly and Stoffel Van Dorn, Stroll and Sergei Sirotkin rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
You managed to qualify better than we expected yesterday, so let's do the same again today. We're in a good position. Second place, you're in second place. Raikkonen is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 2.5 seconds. They're on fresh Ultra Softs. Vettel behind, they're on fresh Ultra Softs. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 4 laps remaining. Gap ahead is 1.8 seconds. They're on fresh Ultra Softs. Their tyres are 1 lap old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 33.8. Behind you. The gap behind us is 2.4 seconds. They're on fresh Ultra Softs. The time last lap was a 1:37.6. first position, front of the pack. Raikkonen is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 1.1 seconds. They're on fresh ultra softs. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. Gap to teammate behind is 11.1 seconds. Nico's currently in P9. We're leading our teammate by 11.5 seconds. They're on fresh ultra softs. The time last lap was a 1 minute 31.3. P1, Raikkonen behind. Our gap behind is 1.5 seconds. They're on fresh ultra softs. This is your final lap of the race. To the car behind is 3.0 seconds. Nice work, that's P1. Race win. Well done.
So, another fantastic victory for Renault today. And Anthony Davidson, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
As we can see, it's time for the podium, and I can see the Renault team underneath our commentary box going crazy as their drivers walk out. It was a great win, and it means a great deal to this team. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Carlson takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day? And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari moved to the top of the table. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment of this Formula One season.
good day today. Tell us about it from your perspective. You took the top points today. Was it a comfortable win? You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you? Everything went your way today. It looked like you had a really good strategy for the race. You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled. Appreciate your time.
Just wanted to say congrats on the podium. It's thoroughly deserved. We were sweating those last few laps on the pit wall, but you brought it home.